What's going on, my eaters? It's your boy Chef Drew, aka Chef, aka Big Drew, aka I'm so excited to be here with you today. And y'all, listen, this week we are going to be talking to you about a field trip we went on. I'm so excited to be talking to you guys about this. We went to Heritage Fire Tour. It was in Atlanta a few weeks ago. I want to tell y'all about it, but before we get into that, please make sure you like, subscribe, do all the things so you can help us continue to bring you this great content. Let's get into it. All right, y'all, so listen, this week's episode, I'm super excited about it because I think this was our first field trip. I mean, you saw in a couple episodes ago that we went to interview Nancy Tao at her place. So that was a little bit of a field trip, but it was more an interview. But this was an actual field trip. We went to the Heritage Fire Tour. It was here in Atlanta. It travels all over the place, but we caught it while it was here in Atlanta a few weeks ago, and we really want to talk to you about it. But before I even get into that, let me tell you how I ended up there. So I remember when we were starting Plate and Platter, my supper club, I really didn't know too much about how to operate a supper club. I had heard about them and knew about them from just research and things like that, but I had never been to a supper club before. And so I was trying to figure out how we should execute ours. I was talking to Rashid Phillips. If you know, you know. I was talking to Rashid one time. I sent him, he does this question and answer on his Instagram, y'all, and I sent him a question about supper clubs. And Rashid has some real simple but very good advice for me starting the supper club. And I was asking him this question because he's very familiar with doing pop-ups. I said, Rashid, how do I start a supper club? Or what suggestions do you have for doing a pop-up? And he said, go to one. And listen, y'all, I felt kind of foolish for wasting this man's time asking him a question, because as soon as he said, go to one, I'm like, yeah, I probably could have figured that out myself. That was a good idea. Good advice, Rashid. So Gwen and I went online. We went to the Google. We found the supper club. We went to a dinner. And just by going to that one dinner, y'all, it taught us so much and helped us launch Plate and Platter. The dinners that we have done with Plate and Platter have been great. We plan on doing some more. So now this year in my business, Pink's Barbecue, my other business, I have been really trying to figure out, okay, what's some other ways that we can draw some revenue in? And one of those ways, we have the farmers markets. We do catering here and there. We started Plate and Platter, our supper club. We want to do some e-commerce stuff, but we also, my focus immediately right now is starting to develop a series of pop-up events, more specifically destination culinary events that focus on barbecue and live fire cooking. So as this idea has started to flesh out in my head, I'm like, okay, how am I gonna do this? And then here comes Rashid in my ear again. Drew, go to a destination culinary event. I was like, yeah. Just as I was thinking about that and talking about it a little bit, y'all know they be in our cell phones. Y'all know they be in the cell phones, right? Just as I started talking about that with Gwen, I started getting pop-ups in my phone for this Heritage Fire Tour. Big brother, thank you for being in my business, because I did not know anything about Heritage Fire Tour, let alone I did not know that Heritage Fire Tour was gonna be in Atlanta. So when I saw this start popping up, I looked it up, no brainer, went on, bought some tickets. Lo and behold, a week or so after I bought the tickets, I got super excited because y'all have heard me mention Ford Fry before. He's a chef that I follow and I admire. I consider him a mentor. I found out that Ford Fry's culinary director, Marcelo Hahn, was gonna be at the Heritage Fire Tour. Y'all gotta forgive me, I'm gonna be in my notes a little bit because I wanna make sure I don't mess up or miss anything. It was a pretty cool experience, and I wanna tell you what I thought about it. I got my man Joe with me, I brought my little brother Evan with me, and we're walking up towards the venue. And y'all, I started getting so frustrated because I saw this line that looked like it went from here to Nazareth. I'm telling you, this line was long. I'm a big boy, y'all. I don't like lots of people. I don't like standing in one place too long. I'm just saying. And this line was long. I'm like, yo, we're gonna be standing. As we're approaching the venue, this young lady, she hits us up, cuts us off like, hey, y'all going to the festival? Yes, we are. They had these nice little wristbands. You know, that's how they know everybody. They branded Heritage Fire, a little keepsake if you wanted, I guess. She put us on. I'm feeling real VIP. I'm like, oh, yo, I got these good tickets. She cut us off. We about to get up in here. Y'all, this lady put these bracelets on our hand and told us to get to the back of the line. Y'all, the line that I was dreading, yeah, we went straight on to the back of it. I'm going to show you a clip of this line. So my annoyance meter went up a little bit, but yeah. As I'm walking, taking this pilgrimage to the back of the line where I need to be at, I see Marcelo Hahn, Ford Fries guy, on the sidewalk. He's in the venue, cooking it up, grilling with his team. So immediately I got less annoyed, more excited because I know the way they look and the way they work. And I'm like, I don't know about no one else in there right now, but that tent is going to be having some good food. And I was super excited about it just at the side of it. So we got to the back of the line. Honestly, y'all, I was being way more dramatic than I needed to be. They opened the gates. The line went right on in. We walked right on in. It was cool. First thing I noticed when we got up in there, though, it was a lot of people. I was not playing. So the line that we stood in, the way that Heritage does it is they have a VIP entrance time. And so all the people that we had seen in the venue, those were all the people who paid the more money and got the VIP package. They got in there a little bit early, got eating a little bit early, got drinking a little bit early. Okay, so they were in there. The second time they let people in, that's the general admission, and that's the long line that we had to get to the back of. But like I said, the party was already going, even though we were at the back of the line. As soon as they let general admission in, we were in there 2 seconds flat. Don't let the long line deter you. They move, they have a system. And by the way, they had about 1 million people putting on bracelets on people. So they're gonna get you in there. Trust me, don't worry about that. So we get in there, everything was great. Again, I saw Marcelo. I'm super excited about checking out whatever he's got going on because, like I said, Ford Fry, Suprica, their restaurant, they put out great Tex-Mex food. Went in there, people were everywhere. But the thing that really excited me as a live fire chef, pit master, is there was live fire everywhere. People were legit cooking on grills, pellet smokers, Santa Maria grills. But we saw the folks out there cooking on cinder blocks and grates, y'all. As someone who cooks live fire, who cooks barbecue, that really excited me. I'm like, okay, they really putting in some food work here. The crowd was still a little aggravating to me. Y'all might hear me say that a couple times. I don't like crowds. If it were me and my event, somehow maybe I would just kind of figure out a way to mitigate the concentration of people. Maybe get a little bit bigger event for something like this where people can spread out a little bit. But that's just me. There was lots and lots of great food and beverages. Listen, this is what I liked about the Heritage Fire Tour. You pay a steep price. However, that's all you pay. Once you get in there, all the drinks, adult drinks too, were included. Water was included. I didn't see any soft drinks, but it was kind of hot, so it didn't matter. But they did have the alcohol, y'all, like I said, and the food was included. So between the H2O, the food, and the alcoholic beverages, if you partake in those things, that's why I said it was worth it, because once you spend that money, you really didn't have to spend anything else. Every booth you went to, they gave you a bite. Everything was portioned out into bites, or stuff that you could easily just hold in one hand, eat with the other. And the drinks were also smaller cups, but You can go back as long as you were willing to stand in the lines for the different booths. You could go back as much as you want. With that said, I will say at the Atlanta Heritage Fire Tour, the lines were a little bit crazy for the more popular tents. There was too many to talk about every single one, but I'm just gonna mention some of the bites and some of the things that were good to me, some of the things that were most exciting to me. One of the first things we ate, y'all, it's hot in here today. One of the first things we ate came from Enzo, restaurant in Atlanta called Enzo. They have a couple locations. They had a little, it was like a little pork bite in a little crispy chip thing of some kind with some kind of broth in it. In theory, I feel like it was great. The flavors were all great. I would definitely eat it again. I just felt like it could have used a little bit more salt, some execution. We'll try to show you some pictures of this stuff that we ate there. The Iberian Pig was at the Heritage Fire Festival. I thought this was really, really cool because what they did, anyone who's been to Iberian Pig in Atlanta, one of their signatures is an Iberian restaurant, is paella. They had these big, huge paella pots over open fire or over big, huge burner, and they were making paella for everybody. One thing that I really, really loved about their paella was that it was hot. Whatever they were doing, even though they were remote, even though they were not in their kitchen, their food was hot. And that was after taking the sample off the table even. So I think I ate 2 of those samples. One I took directly from the person. 2, the second one I took off the table. I ate 2 because I really wanted to kind of find out if I liked the paella or not. Me, I tout myself a paella guy. Our favorite restaurant growing up was a Spanish, as in Spain, restaurant in New Jersey. Growing up, we would go there for special family occasions, and I always got their paella. Developed a deep, deep love for paella. But the other thing that happened with that is I'm kind of bougie about my paella now. It got to be right. And my only critique on this paella were 2 things. One, the crust on the bottom was not hitting right, and it was way more wet than I'm accustomed to. But the flavors were hitting, the food was hot. I would eat it again. Iberian Pig, you can cook it for me anytime you want. I'm gonna eat your paella. I have not been to this restaurant, but this particular tent, it was called Lady Bird Grove and Mess Hall. I really like them, y'all, because these cats was out there cooking on cinder blocks. They just had grilled meat, vegetables on the table with all the dressings. It's really how I love to eat. Grilled meat, wraps and vegetables and sauces. Put all that together any way you can, and that's what Lady Bird Grove and Mess Hall did. And I personally thought it was banging. My little brother Evan, he didn't think it was banging as much. He ain't finished his. He said it was too salty, but I thought it was great. Lady Bird, Grove, and Mess Hall, I would say, if y'all produce in your kitchen anything like you produced at Heritage Fire Festival, make sure y'all go and check them out. It's worth it. They know what they were doing. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Before I talk about Marcelo Hahn and another person that I was really, really excited to meet and see at Heritage Fire Festival, I gotta tell y'all something. And I want y'all to listen to me very carefully. Please, for everything that is good and everything that is right, please listen to me. I beseech you to listen to me. Sorry. If you are at a Heritage Fire Festival, a barbecue competition, anything where they are doing live fire cooking, where the skill is wood, coals, and fire to make the food taste good, look good, do all that. If you find yourself in that situation, if barbecue goes on your menu in any kind of way, please, y'all, do not, under any situation or circumstance, put liquid smoke in your food. Some people might not like what I'm saying. For y'all, I am so sorry. But if we cook it with wood and we cook it with coals and there is fire going and smoke is happening as a byproduct, why would you have to put fake smoke in the food? That's just what I think. If you cook it with the wood, you done bought the wood. The wood is the flavor. So please, y'all, I'm not going to say no names. I'm not going to say no names. I don't want to, you know what I mean? But the worst food we had at Heritage Fire Festival, y'all, this lady, bless her heart. She made some pulled pork, some barbecue. But y'all, I would bet on everything I know and love that she put liquid smoke in that barbecue, and I was upset. Another person, I'm not gonna say no names, but y'all, this person took some of their barbecue and literally, this is what they did, hear me. They put their barbecue on a cracker. I got people all over this festival sauteing things up, grilling things up, flipping things up. These people went in a chafing dish. I don't know where their grill was, where their smoker was. Maybe it was there, I didn't see it, whatever. But they took their meat and put it on a cracker. Listen, I'm all for simplicity, but I got to tell y'all this. If all you got to do for your presentation is take a prepackaged cracker and put your barbecue on it, please make sure your barbecue is off the chain. Simplicity is fine, but if you're going to go the lean route, if you're going to be simplistic with yours, y'all, make sure it's good. The meat on the cracker was not good. The liquid smoke barbecue was not good. Now let me talk about some simplicity. There was another venue we went to. Y'all, you know what one of their small plates was? Joe, you remember this? It was a nacho. It was a nacho chip, y'all, dipped in some queso that they made. And that's what they put in the bowl. But listen, I was a little annoyed when I saw this chip in the plate. Because I'm like, who's going to put one chip in a little plate? But y'all, that daggone queso was good. You know what I did? I went back and got about 3 more of them little plates, and I ate that queso. Because whatever that, I wish I remember their brand. Maybe if we find it, we'll post it somewhere. But that daggone nacho queso, I think it was white queso, some regular queso, but they seasoned it up with some herbs and some jalapeno. Y'all, that thing was busting good. So simplicity is fine as long as it don't include bad meat on plain crackers and liquid smoke. Again, sorry, y'all, I went on a little rant. But if you're gonna do these things, y'all, you gotta do them right, man. Take pride in what we do. It takes a lot of time to make this food. It takes a lot of time to smoke this meat. Do it right and present it properly. Anyway, my 2, if I have to say, of all the things we ate, of all the things we drank, my 2 favorites of the evening, Lady Bird Grove and Mess Hall got an honorable mention. Marcelo Hahn, culinary director, and his team, Suprika for Ford Fries Restaurant. Y'all, they was making these tacos. They had some carnitas, pork, and they had some shrimp. They were banging. Absolutely banging. And not only were they banging, this is the thing. They were hot. Let me tell y'all, to take a little street taco and make them a la minute outside of your kitchen, literally a remote destination, and execute them, and they get from the maker, from the grill to my hand and mouth, hot, that takes skill. Marcelo Hahn, Ford Fry, your whole entire team, I watched them and I watched them and I watched them. They were putting out some tacos, man, that was just out of this world. You would have thought you were sitting in a dining room somewhere. The shrimp, I remember I was talking to my man, he was on the grill cooking up the shrimp. They were having so much fun, their attitudes were in it. That's another thing I wanted to say about Chef Marcelo Hahn and Ford Fry's Superior Content. Their people were happy. They were so personable. They were busy. They were cooking a lot of food. They were not in their kitchens, but man, they were executing. And after the event, I got to talk to Chef Marcelo actually for a minute. And one of the things we talked about was just that. If you're gonna do this, listen, I'm coming. You're gonna do this thing that's called food, and if you're gonna do it mobily, Make sure when you do it, when you execute, you do it properly. Your customer gets the experience that you want them to have. Because if you do not do that, if that is not your chief concern, that your customer get the experience that you want for them to have, if that does not happen, you are wasting your time. The money, all of it to execute it was a waste of time if your customer does not receive it the way you want them to. Chef Marcelo and his team, I'll eat them daggone shrimp tacos. My man who was cooking them shrimp tacos, boy, send me some for my birthday, send me some for Christmas, send me some for your mama birthday. I'll eat them for her too. They were great. Chef Marcelo, Ford Fry, your team, amazing. It was definitely worth. I drove all the way there. I bought these tickets for me and my team. I wanted to eat Ford Fry's food. Did not disappoint, never does. Now, so we talked about Lady Bird Grove and Mess Hall. We talked about what not to do. We talked about Chef Marcelo, what he had going on, the surprise of the evening. But before I get to that, you know what I want to tell y'all too? The drinks were good too. If you partake in alcoholic beverages, the drinks were good too. They had some different brands represented there, doing some cool things with their cocktails. I think they had a mixologist or two. The drinks were super, super dope. But the thing that was the surprise, the curveball, I did not expect, but I was so elated to be a part of. We're walking in there and I see Rodney Scott's barbecue. If you do barbecue for real, if you eat barbecue, if you cook barbecue for real, you know who Rodney Scott is. So we go there, I see his tent. I'm like, okay, Rodney Scott opened a restaurant in Atlanta a while back, and I had not gotten to go to his restaurant yet, but it's on my list for multiple reasons. So when I walked in there and saw him there, I'm like, okay, this is the cherry on top. Rodney Scott's restaurant is here. So we sitting there, we're waiting in line. He had some chicken wings, and he had this nice little salad that he was giving out, had some heat to it. Great. I love that he did something fresh and light with his barbecue at his tent. I'm standing there in line waiting to get some wings from Rodney Scott, and lo and behold, I'm looking, and there go Rodney Scott. He's sitting there right in front of me. One of the pitmaster legends of today was standing like 10 feet in front of me. If y'all think I did not opportunize on that situation, you don't know me. We're going to talk about that in another video, though. I'm going to tell you what Rodney Scott said to me, because you know I had a question for him. But in any case, Rodney Scott, this juggernaut of a chef, man is building his brand out of this world right now, was right there, humble as ever, nice guy, ate his wings, ate his little fresh salad. Wonderful. I don't know, one of the things that kind of was surprising to me, Rodney Scott was there, but there weren't as many people at his tent as you would have expected. That was kind of surprising. I felt like y'all was hating on my guy, but it's okay. I went there and I ate 3 of them wings, and they were all good too. And I ate 2 of the little salads too, because if they wasn't gonna eat them, y'all, I was finna eat them. Rodney Scott's barbecue did the thing. The venue where they were hosting Heritage Fire Tour or festival, it was super dope. I had never, as a caterer, as a chef, I had never seen or heard of this venue. Apparently the company that owns the venue owns several around Atlanta. So if you're gonna go check out these guys somewhere else, just know that they know how to pick a venue. It was super, super dope. This particular venue, I heard it used to be an old perfume factory where they made perfume. And so inside the venue, they had, the old big old, I guess they were the big vats or whatever that they cooked the perfume up in, lots of brick and cement and wood. And then for whatever reason, outside they had a big open area where that's where the actual festival was, and then the bathrooms were inside. So that was super, super cool. The venue was super tight. It was ran pretty organized, man. They had a dope DJ. Like I said, some of the food was great. Some of it was horrible, and then a little bit was in between, but it was more good than bad for sure. I would definitely go back. And what I also loved, y'all, we saw people of all races, colors, ages, sex, sizes, all of that. And people were having fun. They was dancing. I remember I saw this lady, y'all, she was wearing like bright pink bright pink, looked like a starburst. And she was just dancing. They was line dancing. The DJ was popping. I was like, okay, DJ, let me pop with you. We was dancing and doing all the things, Heritage Fire Tour, man. It was a great experience. Y'all Google them, look them up. I'll be going back again for sure. One thing for sure that I learned at this festival was I feel like I can do this. I told you I originally went because I wanted to start creating live fire destination culinary events. The purpose of this trip was to go and eat good, have some fun with my guys, get some content to share with you, but really the purpose was to learn and to soak things up. There's definitely some things that I would apply for what I want to do. I don't think mine would be as big. You know what I mean? I'm not interested in it being that size. I'd love to put a little bit of well, I'm not going to tell y'all everything. I ain't going to give you all the keys to the pie. But just know I went, I learned a lot. It was super, super great. Y'all, that's really all I got for you. I'm just jumping to the end right now. And please, please, please like and subscribe. Do all the things so we can keep bringing you this content. Make sure you go check out my brother John, his homeboy Chuck on their podcast, Last Night's Coffee with Chuck and John, available on all podcast platforms. Great guys, great content. Check them out, please. And until next time, we are gone.